unleash your darkest courage, and feel the tremor of impossible strength coursing through your veins as you stand here tonight. You did not just whisper into the void. You did not just mutter into existence. You did not merely clash against inertia. You erupted. You broke the silence. You roared into existence, something so profound that its echo will not fade. You did not just make noise. You started a legacy of fear. In the molten crucible of transformation, you carved your name with flame. You reached beyond the threshold of mere existence. You hurled yourself into the abyss, and you emerged not broken, but reborn with iron will. The world may have murmured doubts. The darkness may have pressed its weight against your chest, but you overcame. You coughed smoke and fire. You bore the scars, and then you turned them into your crown, because those who tremble at your steps will forever remember that you moved first. What you did in the silence before the storm will echo for years, not whispers, not timid echoes, but a roar that rattles foundations, a shockwave that rewrites the map of possibility. You have given birth to a spectre of dread, not to terror born of cruelty, rather from the unrelenting certainty that you refuse to be ignored. Let this legacy be the reminder that in the darkest nights, the boldest souls kindle torches. Believe this: your action was never trivial. Your strike was never misbegotten. You pushed boundaries that others accepted. You shattered ceilings that others stoically lived beneath. You turned the impossible into your canvas. You painted your intentions in strokes of defiance. You provoked change, not out of spite, but necessity. You made the world sit up and pay heed. Do you suppose the quiet ones never carried fire? Do you think the stillness signified acceptance? You proved that silence is not submission. It is the womb of revolution, and from that womb you delivered a force so potent it will linger long after your own footprints fade. You awakened unrest in complacent hearts. You injected uncertainty into the complacent order. You sent tremors through the corridors of power. Your path ahead will not be gentler. The shadow you summoned will follow you, delighting in every step you take. But that is precisely why you must sharpen yourself, again and again. For a legacy of fear lives not in a single day. It lives in persistence. It lives in the fear that never rests. It grows in reputation. It feeds on anticipation. Let people look over their shoulders. Let them feel the weight of what you have unleashed. You must embody that legacy with dignity, with discipline, with ruthless consistency. Do not squander this moment. Do not let doubt creep in like a phantom. Use this force you have created like a weapon, but a weapon tethered to purpose. Use it to break injustice. Use it to build new paths. Use it to defend those who cannot roar yet. Do not let the fear you stir become primitive dread. Let it be constructive. Let it push the weak to question the comfortable. Let it remind the complacent that change is inevitable. As you walk into tomorrow, other eyes will watch them calculating when that tremor will strike again. They will brace themselves for the next move. They will wonder your next direction. They will measure their courage against your presence. You must make it impossible to relax. You must keep the tension alive. You must let them live with the question: when will the next echo come? The legacy you begin is not about tyranny or crushing others. It is about standing so fully that no one dares to be small in your presence. It is about forging a reputation that demands respect and vigilance. It is about delivering hope in the teeth of fear by showing that a single spark can set the world alight. Those who try to follow you will taste the fire and falter. Those who try to resist you will tremble at your resolve. Those who try to ignore you will find your shadow interrupting their silence. You have cast a long silhouette across the horizon. You have rewritten the rules by your motion alone. Never forget, fear is not always the absence of love or hope. It is the recognition of power. It is the acknowledgement that something else dominates the page. Fear is the space you leave behind when you step forward so ferociously that others cannot help but recoil. Let your footsteps imprint that space. Now, I call you to arms. Though the battlefield is both internal and external, raise your spirit, raise your standards, raise your intensity. Do not settle for mediocrity. Do not shrink from the burdens you carry. The legacy of fear demands sacrifice. It demands vigilance. It demands that you cultivate your strength daily, that you sharpen your mind daily, that you harden your resolve daily. When you wake tomorrow, do not offer yourself comfort. Do not let regrets whisper to you. Do not let old wounds paralyze you. Face forward. Take stock of your power. Stoke the embers of ambition. Fan them into flame. Let the memory of what you have done burn in your soul for fuel. You are not bound by the past. You are not hostage to others' expectations. You are the architect of what is to come. The path you made will demand new steps. The world will test whether your legacy is fleeting or eternal. Let your next moves answer that challenge. You did not just make noise. You set in motion a force that will rebound across years. You started more than an uproar. You summoned a legacy of fear, one that trembles in the chest of those who oppose you, one that whispers in corridors of power, one that unsettles bones and demands vigilance. But realize this, a legacy of fear, weighed by poison decays quickly, a legacy of fear anchored in respect, in purpose, in moral force endures. You must guard against corruption. You must guard against arrogance. You must guard against stagnation. Stay fierce, stay true, stay hungry. Let your legacy be a living organism that evolves with you. Let your enemies remember your name. Let the cautious measure their steps. Let the complacent sleep uneasily. Your echo is not yet over. Each dawn you will rise and stretch your influence further. Each dusk you will reflect on how to intensify your presence. Each night you will plan the strike yet to come. Do not rest on your impact for long. Do not become comfortable in myth. You must keep acting, keep building, keep striking in service of your purpose. Let people feel that your legacy is not a relic, but a threat still alive. Carry forward your vision with unwavering eyes. Let no distractions seduce you. Let no fear sway you. Let no failure shake you. You stand on the edge of history now, and you are demanding that history heed you. What you did will echo for years, but only if you remain resolute, only if you nourish the fire, only if you wield this legacy with wisdom and force. Others will try to mimic you. Others will rise to challenge you. Others will fear and hate you. All that matters is that you endure. Let your endurance become part of the legend. In the final accounting, they will speak your name in hushed voices. They will recount your ascent. They will marvel at how one person dared to break the mold. They will refer to the trembling hearts you left behind. They will recall the tremors you sent. They will ask, who was that person who would not be silent? Answer them not by arrogance but by service. Answer them by showing that your legacy was not of chaos but of change. Answer them by proving that your fear was not hollow but forged in purpose. So when they echo your name centuries from now, let them utter it in awe. Let them know that your presence never surrendered, that your conviction never wavered. So stand now, with your spine straight, your heart burning, your eyes alight. You have awakened something in the bones of the world. You have given form to a fear that demands respect. You have begun something that will last beyond your lifetime. Hold fast to that spark. Shield it, fan it, sharpen it. Let it become a conflagration that others follow or flee. You didn't just make noise. You started a legacy of fear, and what you just did will echo for years. Stay vigilant, stay powerful, stay relentless, and let the world remember that you moved first and moved with purpose. The silence that follows your steps now is not peace. It is calculation. It is anticipation. It is every doubter holding their breath, wondering what you will do next. Because once you've proven yourself capable of shaking the foundations, the world starts watching for the aftershocks. And they will come, not by accident, not by chaos, but by design. You must understand that when you began this, when you roared out of the obscurity that once chained you, you triggered a ripple that no hand can stop now. Not theirs, not even yours. There will be those who say it was luck, those who say it was a moment. Let them speak. Let them try to define you in past tense. That is the language of the weak, trying to trap the thunder in yesterday's bottle. But you are not a moment. You are a movement. You are the shadow behind every door that's been slammed on dreamers like you. And now, because of what you've done, the hinges of history have begun to loosen. You are not here to be admired. You are here to be remembered. Remembered not for sweetness, not for softness, but for storm, for fire, for turning hesitation into momentum, for dragging the edge of your will across the throats of impossible odds and making them bleed surrender. Your fear isn't the kind that paralyzes. It's the kind that commands attention. You've turned it into a weapon, and the echo of its swing will ring in the ears of the world for years. You have shown what happens when someone who refuses to be silenced finally speaks. Not in words, but in action, in movement, in transformation. And now they watch. The ones who once laughed, who doubted, who questioned your resolve. They don't laugh now. They sit quietly, unsure of what you'll do next. You've become the warning they whisper to others. The cautionary tale for those who get too comfortable. That's what a legacy of fear is. Not destruction, not cruelty, but the raw, undeniable presence of power, waiting, watching, ready. You were not chosen. You chose. You stepped forward when others stepped back. You bore weight others could not lift. You walked alone when no one else dared to move. That choice, that relentless, defiant, sovereign choice is what separates you from the noise. Noise fades. Legacy haunts. And let it haunt. Let it be the thing that keeps those who resist change from sleeping peacefully. Let it be the reason they double-check their grip on the old systems they cling to. Because now, those systems are cracking. Now, there's doubt where there was once dominance. And that doubt, you planted it. The difference between fear and legacy is discipline. Anyone can startle the world once. But to create a legacy of fear, to become a myth, a warning, a force passed down through stories, that requires more than rage. It requires control. Power without direction burns out. But you've shown control, precision, timing, patience. You didn't just break through. You broke through when it mattered most. You were not loud for attention. You were not loud for applause. You were loud because the silence before you was unjust. You were loud because someone had to wake the sleeping. Someone had to cut through the lies. And you were willing to bear the weight of being the first. The echoes of what you've done now rest in the bones of this world. You've changed more than the air. You've shifted expectation. You've made it impossible for people to go back to pretending things are fine. You have made the quiet dangerous again, because now they know what it breeds. You are not finished. You are not even close. This was not the climax. This was the ignition. The real work begins now. The path forward will demand more than effort. It will demand obsession. It will demand the kind of fire that doesn't burn out after victory, but burns hotter because of it. You must keep walking like you carry thunder in your chest. Every footstep must remind them that you still have more to say. Every glance must hold the weight of unfinished reckoning. You didn't just arrive, you intruded. And now they must deal with you. But do not grow drunk on your own story. Do not become a ghost of what you used to be. This legacy will live as long as you evolve, as long as you earn the fear again and again. You will have to sharpen the blade of your spirit every single day, not just for yourself, but for those who now look to your flame to light their way. Your path will attract others, some to follow, some to fight. You must discern the difference. Not everyone who applauds you is loyal. Not everyone who challenges you is your enemy. Stay focused. Let your legacy be guided not by pride, but by purpose. Because purpose is what gives fear its direction. Fear without purpose is tyranny. Fear with purpose is transformation. That's what you've started. Transformation through pressure. You became the weight that tipped the scale. Even now, across distant corners of the world, someone who has never met you, will never meet you, will change their course because of what you've done. That's legacy. When you alter the future of strangers without ever knowing it. But do not mistake echoes for ease. Each echo gets louder, yes, but each one demands more from you. You must speak through storms, act through doubt, move through resistance. Not once, always. What they fear most now is not what you've done. It's what you might do next. The uncertainty you've created is more potent than certainty ever was. They do not know where your next step will land, only that when it does, the ground will shake again. And that knowledge is the pulse of your legend. So when they say your name, and they will say your name, let it carry weight. Let it carry consequence. Let it stop conversations mid-sentence. Let it demand attention like thunder before lightning. Let it remind them that you don't ask for permission. You reshape reality. You were not born to fit in. You were born to challenge the shape of the cage. And now the bars are bent, the locks are rusting, and the doors are swinging open behind you because of you. So what will you do now? Will you rest in what you've built? Or will you rise again, not because you have to, but because the fire won't let you stop? This is the curse of those who start legacies. They cannot retreat. They cannot become small again. They cannot forget what it felt like to roar and be heard, so don't try. Instead, rise again with the knowledge that you are watched, feared, measured against legends, and winning. You are the beginning of 1,000 new beginnings. You are the first chord in a symphony that will never go silent again. You didn't just make noise. You didn't just strike. You didn't just resist. You set a force in motion that will live beyond your name. And what you just did will echo for years. Good. Because this is not the moment to stop. This is not where legends rest. This is where they accelerate. You are still rising, and now you must rise higher. Not because the world asks you to, but because you owe it to the force you've already unleashed. Momentum is no longer your enemy. It's your companion. But momentum has a cost. It demands that you keep feeding it. You cannot slow down. Not now, not ever. There is a hunger in the air, a tension in the silence, a raw, shaking awareness that you are still in motion. That's what terrifies them. That's what paralyzes those who oppose change. Because what you've done isn't over. It's only the beginning of the upheaval. You tore the veil and showed what's possible when someone refuses to wait. Now the ones still hiding behind their excuses are gasping for air. And still, you walk forward. The darkness doesn't scare you anymore because you are the darkness now. Not the kind that consumes, but the kind that reveals. The kind that makes truth impossible to hide. The kind that makes the weak back down before they even speak. You've become something more than a name. You're a symbol now. A warning. A presence. And symbols do not bleed. They do not age. They do not sleep. You've become a myth with a pulse. Understand what that means. Your shadow is longer than your body now. Your reputation walks ahead of you, and everywhere it goes, it speaks in silence, in tension, in weight. People feel you before they see you. They brace before you arrive. They rethink before they act. Because that's what a legacy of fear does. It corrects behavior through anticipation. It doesn't need constant confrontation. It's the discipline of presence, the weight of possibility, the pressure of knowing something greater is watching and moving. Let the world wonder what you will become next. Let them debate it, fear it, hope for it, but never know. That's your advantage. You do not announce every move. You arrive, unapologetically, unstoppably, undeniably. But there is a deeper reason you must keep going, because you are not the only one watching. There are others in the dark, listening, others who have not yet found their voice, others who are still standing on the edge, waiting to be ignited. You are their match. Your legacy of fear is their permission, not to follow, but to awaken. Your strength gives strength. Your fire births fire. That's the burden and the gift of being the first to roar. You light the way, and now you must stay lit. It is easy to burn for a moment, but to burn for a lifetime, that takes vision, it takes precision, it takes endless refusal to be diluted by comfort. And you must never, never choose comfort over calling, because every time you hesitate, someone else loses hope. Every time you shrink, someone else surrenders. Every time you stop, the echo dims, and this legacy you've built deserves more than that. It demands your evolution. The world doesn't need another idol built on sand. It needs a pillar. Someone who can stand when the winds of opinion scream. Someone who doesn't blink when the spotlight blinds. Someone who can bear the weight of being the example, not the exception. And if you dare to carry that weight, you will shape not just one era, but generations. The fear they feel now, it's not of you personally, it's of what you represent. You've shown them that the rules are breakable, that silence is not safety, that greatness isn't inherited. It's forged in fire, in pain, in resistance. And now they question every door they've closed. Now they wonder if the next you is already waking up, already building, already preparing to crash through their illusions. You made them believe it's possible, and that is your greatest strike of all. So what next? You build, not for applause, not for credit. You build because the legacy must grow. You carve your impact not into headlines, but into foundations. Quietly, powerfully, irrevocably. And when they look around and see what you've made, when they realize it was your hands, your vision, your roar that began it all, they will remember not just what you did, but what they felt when you did it. that fear, that awe, that realization that the old world was gone and a new one had arrived. Breathe in that responsibility. Hold it like armor. Let it wrap around you like a second skin, not to protect, but to amplify. You are no longer simply one. You are every soul you've awakened. Every step forward is taken with thousands of silent allies. Your voice is no longer just yours. It's an instrument of transformation. But be warned, they will try to tame you. They will offer you comfort, awards, praise, even loyalty. Not to honor you, but to contain you. They will dress it up in gold and call it peace. But peace without purpose is a cage, and you are not born to be caged. You were born to crack open skies. So deny the illusion of rest. Deny the hand that tries to leash you with flattery. Deny the easy path, and stay dangerous, not with violence, but with clarity, with principle, with unstoppable intention. Let the legacy you carry be felt in boardrooms, in alleyways, in back rooms, in cities you will never visit. Let it drift like smoke into systems, into minds, into decisions. Let it haunt those who thought their power was permanent. Let it remind them, you are coming, because you are. You are coming for injustice. You are coming for mediocrity. You are coming for every lie they told you about limits. And when you arrive, don't knock. Break through, again, just like you did the first time, because now you know the truth. The gates weren't locked. They were just guarded by fear, and now fear works for you. So walk forward with that truth. Walk like a force that cannot be buried, bought, or broken. Walk like the echo is still growing. Walk like the legacy is still sharpening its teeth. Because it is, and the world has only begun to feel what you've truly unleashed. Ladies and gentlemen, gather round. For today we unravel a tale, not of tragedy, but of liberation. A tale of pain, turned purpose, heartbreak, turned clarity and betrayal, turned salvation. Oh yes, let me tell you, it wasn't a coincidence, it wasn't happenstance, and it wasn't bad luck. What happened to you was by design. It was intentional. It was God's way of making sure you let go of something that was holding you back. Not because it wanted to hurt you, but because it needed to push you towards something better, something bigger, something you would have never reached had you not been shoved out of that situation, out of that relationship, out of that cycle you were trapped in for far too long. This wasn't about making you suffer. This was about making you wake up, making you realize that your worth could never be fully realized while you were still chained to those who never truly saw you for what you were. You see, it's a harsh truth, but a necessary one. Pain has a way of breaking through our resistance, our denial, our comfort zones. And when we are at our lowest, when we feel abandoned, when we feel betrayed, when we feel so alone that even the thought of standing up seems impossible, that is when the chains are finally broken. That is when we finally see the truth of who we were always meant to be. That is when we are finally free. It is through the greatest of hurts that we are pushed into the light. And even though it may seem cruel, even though it may seem unfair, it is in those moments of darkness that the path to salvation becomes clear. Now let me remind you of something powerful. No one who truly wanted you in their life, no one who truly saw your value would ever make you feel small. They would never make you feel less than they would never leave you questioning your worth. They would never leave you broken. So why did it happen? Why did you have to suffer? Why did it seem like everything you thought was real was nothing more than an illusion of your own making? Well, let me tell you this. It wasn't by mistake. It wasn't because you didn't deserve better. It wasn't because you weren't enough. It was because God needed to teach you the one thing you couldn't learn in your comfort zone. He needed to teach you that the pain you endured, the betrayal you suffered, was only a step in the process of your elevation. It was only a moment that would lead to the ultimate freedom of your soul. Think about it for a second. The worst pain you've ever felt, the most intense heartbreak, the deepest betrayal. It was not an end, but a beginning. It was the birth of a new version of you, one that you never could have become without that fire, one that you never could have created without being forced to walk away from what was never meant for you in the first place. You see, we often cling to people and situations that harm us because we fear the unknown. We fear that if we let go, we will be left with nothing. And yet in reality, it's only when we let go that we are left with everything. Everything that we were meant to become. Everything that was waiting for us beyond the chains of our past. They hurt you. Yes. But that hurt was the catalyst for your growth. It was the thing that finally gave you the courage to walk away from what was killing you slowly, from what was draining you, from what was stealing your peace and your joy and your hope, without you even realizing it. You were dying a slow death with every passing day that you stayed in that relationship or that situation, yet you couldn't see it because the pain of leaving seemed too great. The fear of being alone was more terrifying than the agony of staying trapped. But here's the truth that many won't tell you. The agony of staying trapped is far worse than the pain of walking away. The pain of staying with people who are not meant for you is far worse than the discomfort of stepping into the unknown alone. Because in that unknown lies your power. In that space where you are forced to stand alone lies the potential of becoming the person you were always meant to be. God made them hurt you, not because he was cruel, but because he knew that the only way you would ever walk away from what was keeping you small was if you were shown the ugliness of it all up close and personal. Sometimes we don't see the truth until it hits us in the face, until we are forced to confront the reality of what we've been tolerating for far too long. And when that truth hits, it hurts like hell. It shakes us to our core. And for a moment, it feels like everything is falling apart. But in that moment when everything seems lost, everything is actually being rebuilt. Everything is being realigned to fit the destiny that was always meant for you. It's hard to accept it. When you're in the middle of it, the pain is so real, the wound so deep. And yet the moment you take a step back and look at the bigger picture, you realize that you were never supposed to stay in that relationship. You were never supposed to stay in that job. You were never supposed to stay in that relationship. You were never supposed to stay in that job. You were never supposed to stay in that situation because it was never aligned with the person you were destined to become. And now that you've been forced to leave, now that you've been pushed into the next chapter, you're finally free to step into your true power, to step into your true calling, to step into the greatness that has always been within you, but was hidden beneath the layers of fear and insecurity and self-doubt. There will always be those who try to hold you down, those who try to dim your light, those who want to keep you small, because they fear your power. They fear what you could become if you ever realized your worth. But let me tell you something. Right now, the moment you understand that their hurtful actions, their betrayal, their cruelty was not about you, but about them, that is when you truly begin to understand the nature of your freedom. It wasn't about your flaws. It wasn't about your shortcomings. It was about their inability to see you for who you really are. It was about their lack of vision, their lack of understanding of your worth. They couldn't see it, so they made you doubt it. They couldn't feel it, so they made you question it. But deep down, you always knew you were more. You always knew you were capable of something greater. And God made sure that you would have no choice but to see it for yourself by making them hurt you in the most profound way possible. So let the hurt go. Let the pain become your fuel. Let the betrayal be the spark that ignites your fire, because that's what it was meant to be all along. Every tear you cried, every sleepless night, every moment of doubt, every moment of self-questioning, every moment of wanting to give up was never in vain. It was all part of the process. It was all part of the plan to get you to the place where you could finally understand your worth and step into your power. And when you finally step into that power, you will look back on everything that hurt you, and you will thank God for it. You will thank God for making them hurt you. Because in the end, it was not just about your survival. It was about your transformation. It was about your transcendence. It was about your ultimate liberation. So let go of the pain. Let go of the anger. Let go of the fear. And embrace the person you are becoming. Because the pain you endured was never meant to define you. It was meant to refine you. It was meant to carve you into the masterpiece you were always meant to be. You are no longer the person you were before the betrayal. You are no longer the person you were before the heartbreak. You are no longer the person you were before the hurt. You are something more now. You are stronger now. You are wiser now. You are free now. And you will never allow anyone to hold you back again. This is your moment. This is your time to rise. This is your time to claim your destiny. And there is no one who can stop you. So take a deep breath and walk forward with confidence, because you have been broken, but now you are unbreakable. You have been hurt, but now you are healed. You have been betrayed, but now you are liberated. Walk in the power of your freedom. Walk in the strength of your resilience. Walk in the truth of who you are, and know this: God didn't let them hurt you for no reason. He did it to make sure you would leave them forever, and in doing so, He made sure you would find the greatness that was always waiting for you. And this greatness, this untapped potential, it was always there. You've carried it within you all along. But it's only through the trials, the heartaches, the betrayals, that you are made aware of it. It is not by accident that you found yourself in situations where the people around you couldn't see your value, where your worth was diminished, where your spirit was drained. Those moments were necessary to forge the fire that now burns within you. Understand this: there is a reason why the greatest transformations come after the deepest wounds. It's because the pain cracks open your heart, your mind, and your soul. The hurt serves as a vessel that holds the lessons you were blind to before. And when that vessel is broken, when the floodgates of your emotions are opened, the truth can pour in. You are far more capable than you ever thought you could be, far stronger than you believed. But in your past, you were limited by the people and situations that clung to your energy. Those energies, those connections, were not aligned with your true purpose. And so the universe, God, had to make sure that you were awakened to that reality, even if it meant a painful awakening. We often convince ourselves that we can endure anything. We tell ourselves that we can keep going, keep sacrificing, keep fighting. But in truth, sometimes we fight the wrong battles. Sometimes we hold on to people who don't understand us, who don't respect us, who don't honor us. We convince ourselves that our love, our loyalty, our kindness will change them. You were meant to change yourself. The struggle was never about fixing someone else. It was always about learning how to walk away from what wasn't serving you, even if it hurt in the moment. The people who made you feel like you weren't enough, the ones who took you for granted, the ones who mistreated you, their role in your life was not to diminish you. It was to show you the strength that you were yet to recognize within yourself. the power to stand tall, to walk away, to refuse to let yourself be belittled. You see, we are often afraid of the pain because we think it will break us. But the truth is, pain does not break you. It exposes you to a version of yourself that you didn't know existed. It forces you to confront your own resilience, your own courage. It teaches you that there is more within you than you thought possible. And it is through this revelation that you are liberated. When you were in those dark places, when you were crying out in the silence of your own despair, you might have felt abandoned. You might have felt as though you were utterly alone. But now, standing in the clarity of hindsight, you can see that you were never alone. You were never forsaken. Those moments of solitude were the very moments that gave you the space to find yourself again. And while the world may have seemed to turn its back on you, God never did. In fact, He was never closer to you than when you were in your most broken state. Because in that brokenness, He was chiseling away the parts of you that weren't meant to exist. He was removing the fear, the doubt, the insecurity that kept you from stepping into your full potential. The hurt, the heartbreak. It wasn't designed to destroy you. It was designed to awaken you, to propel you forward into a new version of yourself. And if you look closely at the pieces of your past, you will see that each experience, no matter how painful, was a stepping stone toward the greatness that was waiting for you. You had to leave behind the version of yourself that was defined by the need for validation from others. You had to walk away from the relationships that made you doubt your worth, to leave behind the situations that kept you trapped in cycles of confusion and self-sacrifice. And when you left, when you walked away with your head held high, that was when the transformation began. It's easy to think that the people who hurt us are the ones to blame for our pain. It's easy to point fingers and curse the circumstances. But the truth is, they were only the catalysts for what was already inside you. The desire to rise, to break free, to become the person you were meant to be. You had been living in a state of unconsciousness, unaware of the power that you possessed, unaware of the person you could become. But now you know. Now you see. The very thing that seemed like your downfall was, in fact, your breakthrough. It was the push you needed to snap you out of the illusion of dependency and into the reality of your own self-sufficiency. You've been to the edge. You've felt the weight of the world on your shoulders. You've wondered if you could go on, if you could survive. And the answer is, yes, you have survived. You are still here. You are still standing. And you are stronger than ever before. The trials you've endured have not defeated you. They have sharpened you, honed you, and prepared you for what is to come. And what is to come is greatness. In the grand scheme of things, those who betrayed you, those who hurt you, those who left you in your darkest hour, they were never meant to be permanent fixtures in your life. They were temporary, fleeting, just passing through. But you are eternal. Your potential is limitless. And now that you have faced the worst of what life could throw at you, there is nothing left to fear. There is no obstacle too great. There is no challenge too insurmountable. You've already faced the storm. You've already walked through the fire. And you came out not just alive, but reborn. And here's the thing. Those who left you in your darkest hour, those who made you feel as though you were nothing, when you rise, when you finally step into the person you were always meant to be, they will never understand it. They will never comprehend the depth of your transformation, because they were never meant to see it. They were only there to teach you the lesson you needed to learn. They were there to show you what it felt like to lose yourself, so that you could find yourself once again. And now that you've found yourself, you will never lose that again. You will never forget the lesson that the pain taught you. What you once saw as a tragedy has become the very thing that sets you apart. It has made you different, stronger, and wiser. The scars you carry are not marks of weakness. They are symbols of your resilience. They are the reminders that you have survived, that you have overcome, and that you are still moving forward, no matter what. And as you step forward, you will carry those scars with you as a badge of honor, because they are the proof that you have walked through the fire and come out on the other side, unscathed and unbroken. Now, it's time to rise. Now, it's time to claim what is rightfully yours. No longer will you allow anyone to define your worth. No longer will you tolerate being treated as less than you are. No longer will you settle for anything that does not honor your spirit, your strength, and your vision. You are a force to be reckoned with. You are a living testament to the power of transformation, to the power of rising from the ashes of your own destruction. And the world better be ready, because you are about to shine brighter than anyone ever thought possible. The greatness that was always waiting for you is no longer a distant dream, a far-off fantasy. It is here, it is now, and it is yours for the taking. So take it. Take it all. Step into the power that is your birthright. Stand tall in the strength that you have earned. And never, ever look back. This is your time. This is your moment. And nothing, and no one can stop you now. You have already transcended the limitations that once defined you. You've risen from the ashes, reborn into a version of yourself that is unshakable, unapologetic, and unstoppable. The road you walked, though painful and treacherous, has led you to this moment of clarity. And now, as you stand at the threshold of the life you've always been destined to live, there is no force on this earth that can hold you back. The world will try to convince you otherwise. There will always be voices, voices of doubt, voices of criticism, voices from the past who still believe they have a right to tell you who you are. But you have learned the most important lesson of all. Those voices are nothing but echoes of a time you've outgrown. They no longer hold power over you, no longer hold sway in your heart, because you have learned to trust in yourself and in the truth of your own strength. What you once saw as barriers, as obstacles too insurmountable to overcome, now stand before you as stepping stones to greatness. You are no longer afraid of the unknown, no longer afraid to step out into the uncertain future that awaits you. The unknown is no longer a place of fear. It is a place of opportunity, a place where your power can finally unfold. You have learned that the only thing standing between you and your dreams is the belief that they are too far out of reach. But you know better now. You've seen how far you can push yourself, how strong you can be when faced with adversity. You've seen that there is nothing at all that can hold you back when you refuse to be controlled by your past. But let me tell you something else. This journey, this path you are walking, is not just about you. It's about the impact you will have on the world around you. It's about how your newfound power, your newfound clarity, will ripple out and touch the lives of others in ways you cannot even yet fathom. Your transformation is not just for your own sake. It is for those who will look to you for inspiration, for strength, for proof that they too can overcome their struggles. You are now a beacon of hope. You are now a living testament to the idea that it's not where you start, but where you choose to go that defines you. This is where your true purpose lies. Your purpose is not to stay small. Your purpose is not to stay confined by the expectations and limitations that others try to impose upon you. Your purpose is to rise, to thrive, and to lead by example. You were made for this. You were made to be the one who stands tall when the world tells you to bow down. You were made to show others that greatness is not a destination, but a journey that begins the moment you decide to reclaim your power and walk away from anything that diminishes you. And let me tell you this, there will be those who will try to bring you back to where you were. There will be people who see your transformation and feel threatened by it. They will try to pull you back into the chaos, into the doubt, into the place where you no longer belong. But you must stay firm. You must stay grounded in the truth of who you are now. You have become unrecognizable to them, and that's a good thing. It's a sign that you've finally shed the old skin that kept you confined. It's a sign that you are no longer the person who allowed others to take control of your destiny. So when they try to pull you back, when they try to remind you of who you once were, you must stand tall and say, I am no longer that person. I have outgrown that life. I have outgrown that pain. I have outgrown that version of myself. You are not the same anymore. You are stronger, wiser, and more equipped to handle whatever the world throws at you. You are no longer swayed by the opinions of others. You are no longer dependent on the approval of those who cannot see your worth, because you see it now. You know it now. And that is all that matters. I know it's tempting sometimes to look back. I know it's hard to let go of the past, especially when it's filled with people, places, and moments that once held meaning to you. But you must understand that what is meant for you will never leave you. What is meant for you will always find a way back, but it will never come with strings attached. It will never come from a place of manipulation or control. It will come freely, and it will come because you have made space for it in your life. You cannot make space for the good things, the great things, until you let go of the things that have been holding you back. You must release the need to cling to the past. You must release the need to hold on to things and people who no longer serve you. Because only when you release, only when you let go, will you be able to fully step into the life that has been waiting for you. There is no place for doubt in your future. There is no place for fear. You are walking into your destiny with purpose, with power, and with a sense of certainty that cannot be shaken. You've already weathered the worst storms. You've already stood in the face of betrayal and hurt and come out the other side stronger than ever before. And now, the world is yours for the taking. It's time for you to build the life you've always dreamed of, to manifest the success and joy that is rightfully yours. But remember this, it won't always be easy. The path won't always be clear. There will be moments when you'll question if you're on the right track. There will be days when the weight of the world feels heavy again. But that's okay, because now you know that you can handle it. You've been tested and you've proven to yourself that you are unbreakable. Success, greatness, fulfillment, they don't come without effort. They don't come without sacrifice. They don't come without struggle. But the difference is, now you have the strength to push through. Now you have the resilience to keep going even when things get tough. Because you know deep down that you are capable of more than you ever imagined. You know that nothing at all can stop you now. As you move forward, remember this. You are worthy of everything you desire. You are worthy of love, of happiness, of success, of peace, and you will never again settle for anything less than what you deserve. The people who hurt you, who betrayed you, who tried to break you, they cannot have a place in your life anymore. They serve their purpose in teaching you valuable lessons. They serve their purpose in showing you how strong you truly are. But their time in your story has ended. It's time for the next chapter. The chapter where you step fully into your power, into your greatness. It's time for you to become the person you were always meant to be. And nothing and no one can stop you now. As you stand on the edge of this new chapter, remember that the pain you endured was never meant to break you. It was meant to build you into something stronger, something unstoppable. You have been forged in the fire, and now you rise, ready to take on the world with unwavering strength. The past is behind you, and the future is yours to shape. Trust in your power. Trust in your worth. And never allow anyone or anything to make you question it. You are destined for greatness, and nothing and no one can stop you now. Keep moving forward. Your time is here. Welcome to the silence that roars louder than any storm, the moment where shadows bend their knees to the fire that is still burning in you. Yes, you. You may not hear the applause. You may not see the one standing for you, but believe me when I tell you this. The universe, the truth, the force that doesn't scream but moves mountains, it's fighting for you. And those who thought they could drown you in darkness, they're watching helplessly as your story is rising, without their permission. You might feel like you've been walking alone, dragging your soul through the mud of betrayal, fear, and pain that doesn't let up. You've seen people laugh at your silence, misunderstand your stillness, and mock your scars as if you chose them. But listen carefully now. They didn't see the fire growing underneath. They missed the moment the quiet turned into power. Because while they slept easy thinking you were done, someone was standing guard over you. Someone who sees your heart when no one else does. Someone who fights battles in rooms you'll never enter. Someone you might never meet, but whose entire purpose is to make sure your name isn't buried in shame, but engraved in survival. See, people think power is noise. That defense comes with a shield and a crowd, but the strongest protection is unseen. It's silent, strategic, divine. While your enemies have plotted, while they smiled in your face and sharpened their daggers behind your back, someone else, maybe life itself, has been making moves on your behalf. Quietly, powerfully, constantly. You didn't even know how close you came to breaking, how many traps were set with your name written in invisible ink. But they failed. And they're still failing, because someone bigger than them is standing between their darkness and your destiny. And now, they don't know what to do. They can't explain it. You weren't supposed to rise. You weren't supposed to smile again. You weren't supposed to have another chance. But here you are, and it's driving them mad. Not because you've done anything wrong, but because they did everything they could to stop you and it didn't work. They whispered lies. They threw dirt. They tried to rewrite your truth. But the force standing with you rewrote the whole battle. Let me make something very clear. You're not weak for not fighting back. You're not soft because you didn't scream or expose or explode. That takes nothing from your strength. Because while your enemies used noise and numbers, the one protecting you used silence and precision. And they're not just defending you. They're dismantling every lie. They're returning every blow back to the sender, multiplied. They're draining your enemies of the energy they once used to target you. Their envy is now their burden. Their hate is now their weakness. And every time they rise against you, they lose something. Every single time. You need to understand this. The fact that you're still here is not luck. It's not random. It's not because they forgot to aim right. It's because someone blocked it. Someone stood up for you. Someone you might never get to thank. Someone who doesn't care for recognition. They only care about you standing tall, you moving forward, you becoming unstoppable, even if it takes a little longer than you thought. And you've been wondering why certain people faded away, why some doors didn't open, why situations didn't go your way. It wasn't failure. It was interception. You were being protected from things that looked like opportunities, but were really cages. You were being shielded from people who smiled like light, but planned like shadows. You were pulled back to be launched forward. And now the ones who plotted are stuck watching you rise without a reason they can understand. That's the kind of protection you have. Not loud, not flashy, but relentless. And now your haters, the doubters, the ones who measured your worth with their own broken scales, they're losing. Not just losing influence over you, they're losing themselves. Because what do you do when the person you tried to destroy is thriving without even touching you back? They threw stones, you built a fortress. They spread rumors, you found peace. They hoped you'd break. Instead, you evolved. And now they can't reach you, not because you ran, but because you rose so far above their reach, they'd need wings to match your silence. And they don't have wings, only noise. And noise dies in time. You may not feel powerful, you may not feel chosen, but you are. The war has already been decided. You're on the winning side. And the reason you're still walking through shadows is because you're meant to shine when it matters most. You're being trained in this darkness, sharpened, not punished. Every lonely night, every setback, every betrayal, it's forming armor they'll never be able to penetrate again. So keep going, even when it makes no sense, even when no one claps, even when it hurts to breathe. Keep going because someone's clearing the path ahead while you can't see it. Someone's fighting off attacks you don't know about. And the enemies, the haters, they're swinging in the dark now because the light of truth has blinded them. They can't find your weakness anymore. You've grown past the version of you they once toyed with. You're protected, not just by people, but by purpose. Destiny doesn't waste protection on things that don't matter. The very fact that life has stood in front of you time and time again means you are chosen. And chosen ones always attract attacks, but they also attract unstoppable protection. So let them laugh, let them plot, let them misunderstand. Every move they make only tightens the loss around them, because you're rising in silence, and your defenders, the ones you can't see, are winning in places your enemies can't even reach. They can't stop what they can't touch. And you've become untouchable, so walk like it. Even if you limp, even if you crawl, even if all you've got left is breath and belief. Walk like someone who's covered, like someone whose path is protected, like someone whose enemies are already being buried by their own hate, because they are, right now, without your hands lifted, without your words spoken, without your energy wasted. The battle is shifting, the smoke is clearing, and when it does, they won't be able to deny what they tried to avoid, that you're still here, stronger, smarter, sharper, and shielded by something so much greater than they'll ever understand. They tried to end you, but someone powerful defended you, and they're not done yet. And listen, I know what you're thinking. If someone's fighting for me, why does it still hurt so much? Why do I still feel so alone? Because protection doesn't always come with comfort. It doesn't always come wrapped in peace and warmth. Sometimes it looks like isolation. Sometimes it looks like unanswered prayers, like doors closing, like silence so loud it almost feels like punishment. But it's not. It's precision. It's war from another world, where you don't fight with fists, you fight with faith. And in this battle, your silence was a strategy. Your pain was pressure, yes, but also preparation. You were never abandoned. You were being hidden, covered, until the right moment, until your enemies exhausted themselves trying to find a version of you that no longer exists. You're wondering why the same people who once laughed around you now avoid your name, why they don't look you in the eye, why the ones who threw shade now live in the shadow of your growth. Because something changed. You didn't just survive. You outgrew their reach. You're too heavy with truth for their lies to carry anymore. And they feel it. Oh, they feel it. That chill in their spirit when they hear your name. Not because you attacked, but because you endured. The guilt they swallow every time they see you shine without bitterness. That's their karma. That's the justice working behind the scenes. That's the power defending you. Choosing poetic silence over public vengeance. Choosing to let their own actions bury them in consequences. And what about you? You are rising into something they can't interpret anymore. They used to understand you, predict you, play you, but not now, not anymore. Because the storms that tried to break you only refined you. The betrayal made you brutal, not to others, but to your old limits. You stopped negotiating with weakness. You stopped explaining your heart to those who only wanted to twist it. You stopped shrinking. And now, the ones who tried to dominate your energy are watching it outgrow the cage they built for you. They're confused because they thought you were just bones and breath and history. But they missed the fire. They forgot what happens when someone chosen to survive is protected by purpose. When the universe itself starts working overtime to clean the path, block the traps, silence the noise. And here's the deeper truth. Not everyone knows who's fighting for you, not even you. But they feel it. That's why some people backed off without a fight. Why some enemies suddenly changed or moved on. They didn't get tired. They got warned. They crossed a line they didn't even know existed. And they felt it. That invisible force that whispered, "Not this one. Not anymore." That's power. That's the kind of protection that doesn't just shield you. It shifts the entire battlefield. It makes your enemies rethink the war. Because suddenly what they used to attack you starts falling apart in their own hands. The gossip doesn't stick. The betrayal circles back. The lies unravel. Not because you exposed them, but because the truth defended you before you ever opened your mouth. And you've got to start walking like you believe that, because you're not a mistake. You're not broken. You're not abandoned. You are guarded, watched, carried, fought for in silence. And if you could see the battles being won on your behalf in realms unseen, you'd cry with gratitude. You'd laugh at the enemies who thought they had a chance. You'd stop doubting your path, because you'd realize how many weapons formed but never touched you. And right now, you may not have clarity. You may not have peace, but you do have protection. You do have power. You do have someone fighting behind the veil for you with more force than you could ever muster alone. Not because you're perfect, but because you're called. Because your story isn't over. Because your voice, your light, your gift, it still matters. It's still needed. And nothing formed against it will last. You think you're tired? You think you've seen too much? Number. You're becoming. You're walking through fire to be forged, not forgotten. And those who hated you for no reason, who smiled while secretly hoping you'd fail, they don't even know how much they've already lost. Not in money, not in status, but in peace, in integrity, in the ability to look in the mirror without regret. That's their sentence. Watching the very person they tried to tear down build a life they could never destroy. Watching your silence echo louder than their screams. And no, you didn't get revenge. You didn't plot back. You didn't strike. But the force behind you did. It moved when you wept. It stood when you collapsed. It whispered when you had no words left. And it said, "I've got this. Keep walking, keep breathing, keep living. I'm not done defending you. And now look, the ones who used to brag about what they did to you, Now flinch when your name is spoken, because the light that's rising from your life is undeniable. It's not flashy, but it's real. It's not loud, but it's loud enough to haunt the hearts of those who broke you. They thought you'd be stuck in bitterness, but you're out here glowing in grace, not perfect, but unshakable. Not loud, but undeniable. So listen to me closely. You might not see it. You might not feel it, but someone is still fighting for you, right now, even in this moment, in realms you can't touch, in places your eyes can't reach, and every force raised against you is losing, badly. Not because you're fighting harder, but because the one behind you never loses. So breathe, straighten your back, wipe your tears, and stop walking like a victim. You are covered. You are watched. You are wanted by something greater than what tried to ruin you. And the war, it's already won. They just don't know it yet. So now, what do you do? When you know you're being defended, when you realize you're not here by chance, that survival wasn't a coincidence, that your name still echoes for a reason. What now? You stop apologizing for being chosen. You stop shrinking to keep others comfortable. You stop explaining your peace to people who only ever wanted your chaos. You start walking like someone protected. You start thinking like someone preserved. You start speaking like someone who's been carried through things that would have buried others. You don't beg anymore. You don't chase anymore. You don't try to convince people to see what's always been true, because the power defending you already saw it, and that's all that matters. See, the people who betrayed you, they were just part of the test. Their role wasn't to last. It was to expose, to wake something up inside you that had been quiet for too long. Their betrayal wasn't your end. It was your awakening. You didn't lose when they left. You were released. Because sometimes protection looks like removal. Sometimes the most powerful thing your defender ever did was cut ties you didn't have the strength to cut yourself. And it hurt. Of course it did. You bled for people who never clapped when you healed. You gave your best to those who only remembered you in their worst moments. But that pain, that silence, that loneliness, it revealed something. It showed you who you are without them. It showed you that the real you, the one that rises alone, breathes in pain, stands in storms, is more dangerous than they ever expected. Because now you're awake. Now you see that some of your darkest nights were your greatest lessons. You see that every delay was divine, that every no was a reroute, that every loss gave birth to more depth, more power, more clarity than winning ever could. And now, you're not begging life to be easier. You're just asking it to keep sharpening you, because you've tasted strength, and you know now you can survive anything. And your enemies, they know it too. That's what terrifies them, because they threw everything at you, and you're still here, not crawling, walking, not broken, burning. And now the game has changed, because the same power that defended you is now living through you. You've become a vessel for the very force that once stood between you and destruction. And when that happens, you become untouchable. You become the very storm they tried to keep out. You don't need to prove anything now. Your peace proves it. Your progress proves it. The glow they can't explain proves it. And it burns them, not because you hurt them, but because you healed without them. You rose without permission. You got stronger without revenge. So let them watch. Let them wonder how you did it. Let them sink in their silence while you build in yours, because this is your moment. Not the loud one, not the flashy one, but the sacred one. The moment the noise outside dies and the roar inside awakens fully. The moment you stop praying for rescue and start moving like the miracle you already are. And now it's your turn to defend someone else, to fight for the quiet ones, to speak for the unheard, to be what you needed when you were in the shadows. Because you don't just survive storms to stand alone, you survive them to light the way. And maybe that's what your defender always knew, that you wouldn't just come out of the fire, you come out holding fire. You wouldn't just walk away healed, you'd walk away dangerous. Not to people, but to darkness, to doubt, to every lie that said you weren't enough. And now, you are enough. You are more than enough. Not because they say so, but because you became it. Without applause, without backup, without shortcuts. And now, the haters, the ones who whispered and watched and waited, they've already lost. They lost access to your energy. They lost the chance to grow beside you. They lost the privilege of your loyalty. And the deeper loss, they lost the war. Because you've already won it. Not with fists, but with faith. Not with revenge, but with resilience. Not by striking back, but by standing still while someone more powerful fought for you. And they never saw it coming. And now, it's quiet again. But not the same silence you used to fear. This silence isn't empty, it's earned. It's the sound of peace after the battle. It's the sound of chains hitting the floor. It's the silence that speaks louder than any shout, any rumor, any insult ever thrown at you. You've been through enough to know. The loudest people rarely have the deepest truth, and the quietest victories are the ones that last forever. Because now, the battle isn't just behind you, the battle has transformed you. You're not the same. You're not supposed to be. You've seen too much, lost too much, survived too much, and grown through every inch of it. And here you are, still standing, still rising, still moving forward. But now, you walk differently. There's weight in your steps. There's fire in your breath. There's legacy in your silence. Not because you tried to become something, but because everything that tried to stop you failed. Because everything that tried to define you collapsed under the truth. Because everything that was supposed to break you built you instead. You've been carried. You've been defended. You've been preserved. And now, the ones who tried to erase you, they're haunted by the very presence they couldn't destroy. They don't even need to hear from you anymore, because your life says everything they were trying to silence. Your peace speaks. Your strength speaks. Your glow speaks. They speak in rooms you've never entered, in minds you'll never live in, but whose memory of you is permanent. Because you didn't get bitter. You got better. You didn't become vengeful. You became unreachable. You didn't fight back in rage. You let something greater fight for you. And now you're walking in the aftermath of that divine victory. And it's only just beginning, because what's ahead of you now is yours. Not borrowed, not stolen, not negotiated, yours. You don't owe apologies for surviving. You don't owe silence to keep people comfortable. You don't owe softness to those who tried to burn you. What you owe now is your own becoming. You owe it to the person you were when no one believed in you, to the version of you who prayed for one more breath, one more day, to the person you used to be, who held on when everything screamed to let go. You owe it to the fight behind the scenes, to the one who stood in front of every unseen attack, to the silent warrior who defended you without asking for thanks, You owe it to the fire that refused to die, even when you did. So from this moment forward, you rise differently, not to prove a point, but because the point has already been proven. You don't need to prove you're strong. You are. You don't need to prove you're chosen. You were. And you don't need to prove they lost, because they did, badly. You just keep walking, keep healing, keep shining in silence. Because your story is still being written, and the pen is no longer in their hands. It's in yours, backed by something greater, held by something eternal, fought for by a force so powerful, so precise. Your enemies won't just regret hurting you. They'll never understand why nothing they did ever worked, and maybe they never will. But you will, because you'll feel the wind shift in your favor. You'll see the light break through in rooms that used to be dark. You'll feel that unseen force lift your head on the days you almost give up again. And when you do, you'll remember this moment, this silence, this truth. You were never alone. You were defended. You were preserved. You were chosen. And now you're unstoppable. Beautiful Alpha family members, today, we stand at the edge of a precipice, the air thick with tension and the weight of our destiny pressing down on us. A bounty has been placed upon the heads of the witches, but let me make it clear, it is not just any bounty. This is no mere price set upon their lives for the petty squabbles of this world. This bounty has been set upon them for a reason far greater than they could ever imagine. They have made a grave mistake. They have dared to plot against us, to conspire in the shadows, to conjoin their cursed forces and bend them toward our undoing. They believe they can break us, shatter our unity, twist our strength into nothing. But they do not know who we are. They have underestimated us in ways they cannot begin to comprehend. They think they can tear us apart. They think they can watch us crumble beneath their dark magic and cruel schemes. But they are wrong. We are not mere prey to be hunted. We are the hunters. And the moment they decided to challenge us, they sealed their fate. They thought they could hide behind their spells, their ancient rituals, their curses, and somehow remain untouched. But now they will feel the weight of their treachery. We will rise, not as victims, not as those who wait for salvation from the hands of some merciful God. No, we will rise as conquerors. They will see what happens when they make the grave mistake of underestimating the heart of an Alpha family. There is something powerful in the blood that courses through our veins, a fire that burns brighter than any magic they could ever summon. And today, that fire ignites. The hunt begins. We will not wait for the witches to make their next move. We will take the first step. They will not know what hit them. There will be no mercy. There will be no quarter. They will understand that when you strike at the heart of an Alpha, you invoke a force that is unstoppable. This is no longer just about revenge, no longer about payback for the blood they've spilled or the chaos they've sown in their wake. This is about something far more primal. This is about survival. The survival of who we are, the survival of what we have built together. We have forged ourselves into a force that cannot be broken. They thought they could bring us to our knees. They thought they could steal our power, our will, and our destiny. But they are mistaken. What they fail to realize is that we are not like them. We do not break. We do not bend. We do not fall. And so, we stand here today, united, unshaken, resolute in the face of the darkness they have tried to cast upon us. They will see what happens when they underestimate the strength of those who are bonded by blood, by purpose, and by an unyielding will to survive. We are more than just a family. We are more than just a unit of individuals bound together by circumstance. We are a force, a living testament to the power that arises when the alphas unite in the face of adversity. Let them come. Let them unleash their magic. Let them weave their dark webs and summon their beasts. It does not matter. They will not break us. They will only fuel the fire that burns within us. The stronger they strike, the stronger we become. The deeper they dig their claws into our flesh, the more we rise from the ashes. They will learn, all too late, that their power is nothing compared to the unyielding resolve we carry within us. But let me make this one thing clear. This is not just about survival. It is not just about protecting our own lives, our own futures. This is about something greater. This is about teaching them a lesson they will never forget. This is about showing them what happens when you mess with the wrong family. This is about showing them the cost of plotting our demise. When you set a bounty upon our heads, when you think you can erase us from existence, you invite something far worse than you could ever imagine. We are not the ones to be feared, no. It is the cost of crossing us that will haunt them forever. And now, they will be hunted. They will be torn from their sanctuaries. They will feel the cold, unrelenting pursuit that comes with underestimating the might of those who are destined for greatness. No more hiding behind spells. No more playing games in the dark. They have awakened a beast, and now the beast is hungry. They will run, but they will not escape. They will try to hide, but we will find them. Every witch who has dared to plot against us, every witch who has made the fatal mistake of thinking they can bring us down, will pay the price. So let them try. Let them prepare their defenses, their spells, their tricks. It will not matter. They will fall. One by one, they will be brought to their knees. And when they are gone, when they are nothing more than forgotten shadows, we will stand victorious. Not just for ourselves, but for every person who has ever dared to defy the odds, who has ever stood against the darkness and refused to bow. We are the living proof that nothing can destroy what is meant to endure. We are the Alpha family, and we will show them that the price of betrayal is far higher than they ever imagined. Let them think they can win. Let them believe they have the upper hand. It is only a matter of time before they realize the truth. Their demise is inevitable, and it will be at our hands. No more games, no more hiding in the shadows. It ends now. The witch's time is up. The clock is ticking, and with every passing second, their doom draws closer. They can feel it, deep down in their bones. The relentless pursuit is coming, and it will not stop until they are brought to justice. And we, the Alphas, will be the ones to deliver that justice. So let them hide, let them fear. We will not be deterred. We will not rest until the bounty is claimed and the witches who plotted our demise are nothing more than a distant memory, wiped from existence by the unrelenting power of the Alpha family. Their time is up, and they will learn, in the most brutal way possible, what it means to mess with the wrong family. They thought they could bring us down. They thought they could erase us. But they will learn that they made a fatal mistake. The bounty is set, the hunt is on, and we will be the ones to claim victory. They might believe that this bounty on their heads will remain a mere symbol, a futile gesture of vengeance. They might think that it's just a price to be paid for some fleeting mistake they made, a game to be played in the shadows where the rules are theirs to control. But what they fail to understand is this: the moment they plotted against us, they signed their own death warrants, and the hands that will carry out their demise belong to us. They will soon come to realize that there is no escaping the fury of those they sought to destroy. There is no power, no magic, no wretched trick that will save them now. They are already condemned. We, the Alphas, are not mere survivors. We are conquerors. We do not run from threats. and we do not cower in the face of danger. No, we thrive in the darkness. We are born in the heat of battle, forged in the fires of adversity, and tempered by blood, sweat, and sacrifice. Every scar upon our skin tells the story of a victory hard-earned, a challenge overcome. We do not shy away from the fight, and this fight, the one they have so foolishly started, will be the last they ever face. They will never understand the rage that fuels us, the relentless drive that pushes us forward. They will learn that their arrogance was their undoing. The witches believed they could weaken us, divide us, make us question our loyalty to each other and our strength as a family. But they could not have been more wrong. They mistook our unity for weakness. They thought that by striking at the heart of our bond, they could scatter us, turn us against one another, tear us apart. What they failed to see is that our unity is not a fragile thing. It is not something that can be broken by betrayal or manipulation. It is something that runs far deeper than mere magic or petty machinations. It is something that is born from the very core of who we are, something that cannot be severed by any spell or force. Each one of us carries the fire of our ancestors, the strength of all those who came before us, and the will to protect what is ours. We do not fight for revenge alone. We fight for something greater. We fight for the future, for the legacy we will leave behind. The witches may have thought they could erase us, but they could not have been more wrong. They thought they could extinguish our flame, but in doing so, they only made it burn brighter. The darker they tried to make our world, the more our light will shine. We will be the ones to reclaim what is ours, to take back the future they thought they could steal from us. But let us be clear, this is not about mercy. We will not show them any. We will not give them a chance to explain, to beg for their lives. No, they have forfeited that right the moment they betrayed us. There is no redemption for traitors, no reprieve for those who seek to destroy us. The moment they crossed the line, they sealed their fate. They are nothing but enemies now, and we will show no mercy. Their magic, their cunning, their ancient knowledge, all of it will be useless in the face of what is coming for them. We are not bound by their rules, their rituals, or their fears. We are beyond their reach now. We will track them down, one by one, until none remain. They will not be able to hide. There is no place in this world where they can escape the wrath we will bring upon them. They will feel the weight of every betrayal they have ever committed, and when the end comes, it will be swift and absolute. But make no mistake, this is not about power for the sake of power. This is not about the thrill of the hunt or the satisfaction of destruction. No, this is about the restoration of balance, the reclamation of what is rightfully ours. They sought to tip the scales in their favor, to undermine everything we have worked so hard to build. But they cannot win. They cannot rewrite our fate. We will see to that. We will hunt them down until their last breath is taken, until every trace of their existence is wiped from this world. As we move forward, united in our purpose, we will show them what true strength looks like. We will demonstrate that no one, not even the witches, who have tried to tear us apart, can stand against the will of those who are determined. They will watch as we take back everything they thought they could steal from us. They will watch as we rise above the ashes they thought they could scatter, as we rebuild what they tried to destroy. But we will not stop there. We will not simply allow them to be erased from existence and call it a victory. No, our victory will be complete. It will be a victory that echoes across the world, one that sends a message to anyone who dares to challenge us. We will leave behind a legacy so strong, so unshakable, that no one will ever dare to cross us again. Our names will be remembered, not as those who were defeated, but as those who brought down the witches, who claimed victory when they were at their lowest. Our story will be on, one of triumph, of unyielding will, and of the unstoppable force that is the Alpha family. So, let them run, let them flee to whatever corners of the world they think they can hide in. It will not matter. We will find them. We will track them to the ends of the earth if we have to. And when we do, when we have them cornered, they will understand that their defeat was inevitable from the moment they made the mistake of crossing us. They will understand that the Alpha family does not forgive. The Alpha family does not forget. And the Alpha family will always claim victory. Our victory will not be sweet. It will not be a moment of quiet celebration. It will be a victory forged in the fires of battle, one that will echo in the memories of all who witness it. We will take what is ours. We will hunt them down with unwavering resolve, and we will ensure that they never, ever dare to challenge us again. This is our time. This is our moment. The witches thought they could destroy us, but they could not have been more wrong. We will show them that there is no force stronger than the bond that unites us. There is no darkness deep enough to extinguish the fire that burns within us. We are unstoppable. We are invincible. And in the end, we will be the ones to claim victory. We will stand tall, unyielding, even in the face of the darkest forces they think they control. They will learn, through the crushing weight of their own arrogance, that they have stirred something in us that they cannot undo. We are not just a family. We are a storm, an unstoppable force of nature. And when that storm comes, nothing will be left standing in its way. They've made a grave mistake, and there's no escaping the consequences now. For those of us who stand together, who share this blood, this bond, we know something they could never understand. We know that true strength isn't just about power, it's about unity. It's about the unbreakable ties that bind us together. They thought they could break us by attacking our hearts, by sowing seeds of doubt, by trying to turn us against each other. They thought they could isolate us and destroy our will to fight, but they couldn't have been more wrong. We are not individuals. We are a collective force, stronger together than apart. Each of us is a thread in a greater tapestry, and no matter how hard they try to tear us apart, the fabric of our unity will only grow stronger. What they don't realize is that in trying to sever our bonds, they've only forged them tighter. Every moment they've spent plotting in the shadows, every scheme they've set in motion, has only made us more determined. We are a family, and families don't break. We fight for each other. We protect one another. And when one of us is in danger, the rest will rise to meet the challenge, no matter the cost. There is no greater power in this world than the strength of those who fight for something greater than themselves. The witches will soon learn that lesson, and they will regret ever underestimating what we are capable of. They may have thought they were clever, that they could weave a web of lies and deceit that would entrap us. But webs are fragile. They're easily torn apart by those who are strong enough to see through the illusion. We see them for what they truly are, cowards who hide behind their magic, afraid to face the truth of their own weakness. They do not have the strength to stand on their own. They rely on manipulation, on bending the world to their will with spells and curses. But that kind of power is hollow. It is fleeting. And when the storm comes, as it surely will, they will be powerless to stop it. We are the storm. We are the fury that will wash over them, and they will have nowhere to hide. We are the embodiment of the wrath of a family betrayed, and that wrath is a force that cannot be stopped. No amount of magic, no spell, no curse will shield them from what is coming. They will feel the weight of their betrayal. They will feel the crushing force of everything they've ever done to her. Every lie, every trick, every ounce of deceit they've used to try and tear us down. They will feel the consequences of their actions in a way they never imagined. They think they have power, but they are wrong. Power is not measured by the strength of the spell or the depth of an ancient ritual. Power is measured by resolve, by the strength of will, by the fire that burns in the hearts of those who fight for something worth fighting for. We fight not just for survival, we fight for justice. We fight for the future. We fight for our family. And that is a fight we will win. No force in this world can stand against that kind of power. The witches will learn this truth the hard way. But let us not forget why we fight. We fight not just for our own survival, but for the survival of all those who have ever stood with us, for those who have believed in us, for those who have given their trust, their loyalty, and their love to our cause. We owe it to them to show that we are worth that trust, that we are worthy of their loyalty, and that we will never fall. And as we march forward, we will carry their faith with us, and we will honor it by showing the witches that they have made a terrible mistake. The cost of their treachery will be their lives. The price of crossing us is one they will regret for all eternity. They may think they can hide behind their spells and incantations, but the truth is that they are running out of time. Every moment that passes brings them closer to their inevitable downfall. They have nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. We will hunt them down, and they will feel the full force of our wrath. The bounty on their heads will not be the end of it. It is only the beginning. We are not bound by the same rules they play by. We do not fight for sport or for the thrill of the chase. We fight because it is necessary. We fight because they have made it so. And when the time comes, when the final confrontation is upon us, we will not hesitate. We will strike without mercy, without fear, without remorse. They will learn what it means to cross the Alpha family. They will feel the weight of our fury, and they will understand that there is no escape from the retribution that is coming for them. Their time is running out. The moment of reckoning is fast approaching, and with it, our victory. We will show them that they are nothing compared to the strength of those who are united, nothing compared to the power of those who are determined. Their schemes will crumble. Their lies will fall apart. And when the dust settles, we will be standing tall, victorious in a way that will leave the world shaking in awe. This is not just a battle, it is a reckoning for all those who have dared to challenge us, who have dared to think they could break us. It is a reckoning for the witches who thought they could play their little games in the dark, without consequence. The price of their actions will be steep, and they will pay it in full. We are more than just a family. We are a force that cannot be stopped, a force that will bring down everything in its path until nothing remains of the witches who dared to plot against us. We will rise from the ashes of their betrayal, stronger than ever, and we will show the world that we cannot be broken. We are the Alpha family, and we will claim victory. The witches may think they can outsmart us. They may think they can hide. But they are wrong. The end is near. And when it comes, it will be swift. It will be final. And it will be ours. In the end, the witches will know the true cost of their betrayal. They will realize that underestimating the power of a united family was their greatest mistake. We will not stop until every last one of them is brought to justice, their darkness extinguished by the relentless fire we carry within us. We are not just survivors, we are victors, and we will rise above the ashes of their schemes. This is our legacy, our triumph, and nothing, no force, will stand in our way. We are the Alpha family, and we will claim victory.